Hi everybody, how are we? Lads, I missed you. I didn't upload last week and I'm very sorry. I know everybody was seriously waiting at the computers for me to go. Computers. Like everybody uses a computer. What year are we in? Everybody was waiting for a little notification to say that I had a new video up, I'm sure. But lads, I had a sinus infection because the universe is just pooping on my head at the minute. But it was fine, I'm over it now. I'm a bit congested still, so if I sound funny, I don't know how I'm going to sound on the camera, but I'm okay. So we're back and I'm finally here with my part 2 of my endometriosis journey video. Basically, I think it was 8 weeks ago. Yeah, 8 weeks ago now, I went in for my endometriosis surgery and I did a part 1. If you haven't watched the part 1, maybe go watch it and then watch this one. But I want to give like a bit of a, not trigger warning because it's just kind of gross, but like I am going to put photos of like the progress I've been making since then, but like at the very start it's a bit gruesome, so if that's not really your thing, then I don't know, maybe close your eyes or don't watch this. But if you do, if this is something that's affecting you, I feel like I wish I'd have kind of watched a video about it because I feel like I was very underestimating how I would feel afterwards because of my previous experiences. So yeah, so basically I had to ask my mom for like the correct sequence of like I guess my menstrual life. So yeah, so she's actually just texted me right now the whole thing, but basically I'm just going to shorten it. So I got my period when I was 10 years old, and my first period I was 10, and I wouldn't tell my mom and I thought I was bleeding to death. And it was about 6 months later that I got my second period, and then 3 months later that I got my next one, and then they started to come like normally. And then when I was 14, my mom said that there was definitely something wrong, like that they were so like not normal, and I was in absolute agony and like my attitude was so bad and I was having a hard time anyways, and I was just like unbearable and just crying all the time, which makes sense because I cry a lot, but it's okay. Pretty girls cry. So basically my mom then was like, okay, we have to take you to my doctor. So we went to the doctor and she put me on the pill, and she actually referred me to like a gynecology specialist, Dr. Hayes I think his name was. So I was so stressed out because obviously I was 14 and he was a man. He was like an old man. He was in no way perfect, he was lovely, but like still a young girl and you don't know what's wrong with you. It's just a weird situation to be in. So that was fine. I'm just gonna read now what my mom said because there's some big words and I can't memorize them. So my mom said, it took a few months to get an appointment, but as soon as you explained your symptoms, he diagnosed endometriosis and scheduled a laparoscopic operation. I'm a good reader. Oh, he would basically hoover out the clots and place in the Mirena coil, which contained hormones, into your uterus to help balance everything and to stop the clotting. A few months after, you were back to your happy self and the agony of periods was a thing of the past. So this is what she said so far. My god, the poor woman's like typing as I'm recording, so I could have waited like a couple hours, but sure, anyways. I remember my first operation. I was obviously 14 and had to be taken out of school, and I remember my very first boyfriend ever, God love him, came to the surgery, and I'd had a panic attack when I woke up. We were only kids, like, so they had to put me on oxygen because I had such a big panic attack when I woke up, and he thought I was dying. My mommy was like, no, seriously, relax. Anyways, so that happened. Then my mother said at the age of 18 the bleeds came back and the mood swings. So once again Dr. Hayes operated. This time it was just to change the coil as the clots weren't too bad at all, but he said you need a coil change every 4, not 5 years. Usually a Mirena coil lasts 5, but obviously because of my symptoms and my hormones and my just my bad bitch self, I have to get my coil changed every 4 years. Okay, so now I'm up to date. So that was then. I got my coil changed then again, obviously when I was 18, going into college. So my whole college life I was fine. Thank God, because nobody needs issues during college. We have enough issues anyways. That brings me to now. So if you'd have watched my first video, you'd have seen that I was meant to get my coil changed in December of 2021. Caught COVID, couldn't get it. You have to wait 9 weeks after catching COVID to be able to go back into the hospital. So I was like, are you for real? And I was in bits. I don't really know if I spoke about it much because I can't really remember, but I was in bits and I was in a bad mood and I was trying to lose weight, couldn't lose weight, crying, bleeding. I was just all over the place. I was having a really hard time. So finally got my appointment, and that's when part 1 had occurred. So basically I kept part 1 quite short because I was relaxed, but I was having a hard time with my recovery. So this time it was a lot more intense than the previous 2 times. As I said at the start of this video, I am going to put in some photos which are a bit like rough to look at. Like, they're not an absolutely mad or anything, but they are just of my stomach and everything that is like what it looked like. So this is what I look like post surgery. As you can see, I was so bruised and sore, and just I felt so yucky. So I had the keyhole surgery either side of my stomach into my womb. They cleared out the endometriosis and changed my coil. So I was only in the operating room. I was not even that long. I don't think it was even an hour, maybe an hour, just under or over. It went fine. Everything's fine. Everything's all cleared and everything's changed, and I'm slowly starting to feel like myself again. The recovery period for this time was so much more intense than the other time. So obviously the first time I got done, I was 14 and a virgin and all that kind of stuff. So they do it like less invasive. Whereas this time they were like, fuck her, let's just stab her to death. So that's why it was so much more rough. But lads, I'm not even joking. The cuts were a hell of a lot less painful than the gas that they put in. So obviously they fill your body with gas so that everything, like, they can get to everything better. Oh my god, I thought I had whiplash. All in my chest, in my shoulders. Couldn't cough, could barely talk because it was so sore. Like, breathing hurt. I just felt like I had been like in like the worst car crash ever. So once that settled, that took about 3 or 4 days to settle. Everything was fine. Like, not fine, but I didn't hate everybody else. So that was fine. Then the recovery period for my stomach was, I feel like personally it took a huge toll on my mental health. This is for future Neve. Recovering is really, really hard. I'm having a really hard time. My medication makes me really tired, and trying to work and get through a day is actually really difficult. My anxiety is so intense. I don't really know why. It's fine. It's fine. It's gonna be fine in the end, but like, getting settled into this is really difficult. It's a lot harder than I thought it was gonna be. Oh god, I don't want to cry anymore because I just actually can't. It's fine. Everything's gonna be fine. It's just the anxiety is really starting to get to me. Oh my god, being a woman is so difficult. I hated the way I looked. I hate the way I felt. I didn't really want to be around anybody. I was like forcing myself to like be social because I thought it would make me feel better, and it just didn't. Everything hurt all the time. It was rough because if you've been following me for a while now, you'll know that I was like really into going to the gym. Couldn't go to the gym for at least a month. Then by the time I was fine, I had kind of come out of it. Gym people will know you have to get into, it takes you a while to get into a groove, and I was in my groove, and then all of a sudden I didn't gym for at least a month maybe, and then I just felt disgusting. It was just really difficult, and it was hard to look at, and I just felt drained and emotional and upset all the time, and like the smallest little things would set me off. Like, I'm still not 100%, and I know I'm not 100%, but I don't hate looking at myself now. Like, when I tell you I could not deal, like the way I just was like, please just don't. Like, just don't look in the mirror, just don't do it to yourself. Which was ridiculous. I know that now because I was so hard on myself. But like, when your hormones are so crazy, like, you don't give yourself a break because you feel like you don't deserve a break. Like, mental health is actually really, it's a scary thing, I think. And anything, like, your mental health just has to be looked after. And I feel like getting this operation now and like feeling the way I felt and feeling like depressed and like antisocial and drained and just plain sad. Lads, I was so sad. I just cried and cried and cried, and I felt disgusting and hideous. And look at, like, I wish I could tell myself then, like, relax, like genuinely relax, but when you're in that mindset, that like you just don't feel that way. So I'll show you my stomach now. It's been 8 weeks. The swelling took a lot longer to go down than I thought it would, which was, I think, was playing up with me a bit. If anybody has endometriosis and has to go through this operation and through this whole journey themselves, these are a lifesaver. My mom, when I went to see my mom in Belfast, go watch that video, she showed me these and they've helped so well. Basically what they are, it's like a little capsule like this. You take 2 a day. I like to take one in the morning and then one before I go to bed, and it just helps your hormones, helps deflate, helps with bloating. And I know I sound like one of them like girls on TikTok. They're like, oh my god, use my code, but these seriously are unreal, and I'm mildly obsessed with them, and I will use them forever. So they really helps with my healing process. But I'm going to show you them now. I hope nobody's actually watching me through their window because it's going to look a bit weird. But basically, here we go. This is one of my cuts, one of my incisions. Totally fine, nothing wrong with it. This side I am struggling a bit more with. I'm not really sure why. Well, actually, I'm not. No, I'm not sure why, because whatever. But when I went back to the gym, I hit a weight off this side and it's still bruised. And that was, I don't even, like, at least a month ago. So I'll show you now. Can you see the bruising? Just around here, and it's very weird. It's like bruised from the plaster. But I'm okay with them. Like, if they don't hurt, then like the bruised side doesn't even hurt, so I don't really know why it's still bruised. It doesn't hurt. I'm not really ashamed of them because whatever, it's life. Do you know what I mean? But I would definitely. So I want to give like just a bit of what to expect. It will hurt, you'll feel horrible, but please just remember that it's like not gonna last forever. Which sounds a bit like, I know you're sitting there being like, but sure, you felt like that. If I had watched my own video, like if I could give this to myself 8 weeks ago, I would, to just be like, it's okay, like the swelling will go down, your hormones will relax, you will feel better. I would like to do that. So I'm just gonna tell, it's a bit like advice, so if anybody else is going through this, give yourself a break. It's okay to be sore, and it's okay to not want to do things, and it's okay to cry to a certain extent. It's okay to cry to a certain extent. It's okay if you feel like shit. Like, everything that you're feeling is valid. Don't let anybody else be like, oh, you're being dramatic, blah blah blah, because I know like your mind is definitely all over the place, and that's okay. It's just weird, but it's gonna be fine. You're gonna look beautiful like you always do, so it's fine. Surround yourself with people that love you. Like, I think that I'm just very grateful that I had Joe, because I think I would have genuinely struggled. Obviously Connor wasn't even here, so like if I didn't have Joe, I would have had to do most of this like myself, which was really scary. So I am very grateful that I had Joe. So just make sure that you have someone, and make sure you get a nice nurse. I had a nurse and she was like a student, and I just wanted to slap the head off her because she like was trying to be cool and like and I was like, oh, girl, I'm going in here now to get my womb like ripped open, so if you don't mind not taking the piss, it'd be absolutely adorable. But yeah, that was a bit aggressive, wasn't it? How I'm feeling now is like 8 out of 10, back to my normal self, which is good. Like, it's taken me, I won't lie, it's taken me a very long time to get to an 8. I still just feel like I have a bit of sadness in me still, but I'm totally fine. Honestly, I am fine. I'm getting on with my life. I'm getting up, going walking, exercising, gymming, sitting out in the sun. How lucky have we been with this weather? Oh, so nice. And yeah, I'm going on my holiday to America in 5 days or something crazy like that. It's coming around so soon. I think another thing is that I was putting myself under a lot of pressure for the holiday, for how I looked, and then when I had my operation, I was just like, oh, this is a shit show. I'm fine now. Like, I'm okay with the way I look. I'm obviously not where I want it to be, but whatever. All bodies are beautiful, and I'm gonna have a great time, and it's fine. Like, it is fine. I can't help that this is what's happening, so I just have to kind of get on with it. which is a nice mindset I feel like to have. I'm fine, everything's fine. If anybody, and I mean anybody, has any questions relating to endometriosis, please feel free to message me on Instagram. As I said in my last video, I am not like a doctor or a scientist, or I didn't even do biology in school. I've just gone through this, and I feel like if more people are going through it and need some sort of advice, or like literally anything, even if it's what ice cream did you eat when you felt sick, ask me anything. To be honest, I lived on Cocoa Pops and I had a great time, so please feel free to send me a message. I hope this was helpful. I hope this wasn't just me rambling for 20 minutes being like, oh god. I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys, and as I said, please don't hesitate to ask any questions if you have them. Go endometriosis survivors. Woo!